This is Old Minecraft Uploads 2010, a good example of digital horror without much story while still doing its job, being scary. So, anywho's, let's get started. On Sunday 6th of October at exactly 7:33 a.m., I got a pretty strange email. Unfortunately, I didn't see this email till a couple days later, which led me to, of course, Minecraft Old Uploads 2010. Now, not to be so critical, but come on, Minecraft Old Uploads 2010? Anyway, other than a few mistakes and the sadly uncreative name, I actually liked this series because it was the first Minecraft video, digital horror, whatever that actually kind of spooked me out. And although it was because of a few jump scares and eerie sounds, it still scared me nonetheless, and I think that if you watched it too, you would probably be as scared as me when I first watched the channel. So without any further interruptions, let's get into it. The first video was nothing special, and to be honest, I was already starting to get disappointed, just from this frame alone, but don't be fooled, it only gets better from here on out, and I strongly suggest watching his channel for yourself if you want to get spooked, you know. The video starts out from the perspective of, well, it doesn't actually give our main character a name, giving the series a real mystery factor to the series, such as figuring out who the main character is. But other than that, the video starts out as the first episode of a Minecraft Let's Play. For this video, I'll call the main character Mike. Because of the first letter of his channel being M, I know, not the creative, but anywho's, he is progressing pretty fast, building a house, getting tools, almost dying to a skeleton and being forced to hole up in his base because, you know, without a roof, the spiders could crawl in and kill him. And that's where the video ends. Getting to analyzing, during the middle of the video, other than the glowing eyes PNG, Mike didn't recognize gravel, which hints that Mike is pretty new to the game, or that he's very young due to the spelling errors in the description. And you know, kids can be very stubborn. An example would be beating a kid in a 1v1 in any game, and now they won't leave you alone until they beat you. So aside from Mike's curiosity, him being a kid would also explain why he hasn't deleted the world or quit Minecraft. Or maybe it's not a kid and is just realizing that you can basically make infinite content from your computer being haunted. Anyway, the second video starts out strangely. Instead of continuing right after the first video, we start out in the middle of the night where we can figure out Mike died since he doesn't have any of the stuff he had when the first video ended, and it can be confirmed from the description of the video, and seemingly the intro of the second video has been cut since we see during the middle of the video the note that was supposed to be used for the intro of, you know, the second video in his Minecraft series. And proceeding onwards, Mike finally finds his base and finishes off the roof. Now, aside from the poor effect designed to trick you into thinking it's another shitty ARG, which it kind of is, it still does its job of creeping you out and, you know, giving you goosebumps and shit. Because this is where the first time I realized this channel might be pretty good. Now, I don't usually show clips, but just lower your audio for this. After this, he decides to go to Bedrock for an unknown reason, in which this happens. Now listen, I understand that it can be easily achieved by copy-pasting sound effects, but even so, it still does its job and a heck of a lot better than some crappy PNG or effect, and it takes much more effort, which kind of confused me. This was placed surprisingly well, especially when it's just dark and you can't see nothing. The only thing you have is audio, and if that messes up, it's kind of creepy. But that's basic horror games and horror elements, which old Minecraft Uploads has done pretty well. Moving onward though, looking at the footage carefully, I noticed that he's digging down to avoid something, especially when he first started digging, since he kept looking up and blocking the entrance. At first I thought it was just to prevent creepers or mobs falling down the hole, but he keeps looking at it and he seems afraid, to the point he dug down to bedrock, still looking up for anything that may come down there with him. The cave sounds kind of like a warning. Alright, so again, the shitty aspect is still there. He could have used something else, but yep. Although it did scare the shit out of me the first time. Anywho, looking into the description, however, somehow watching this screamer brings nostalgia to Mike for some reason, which implies that whatever anomaly happened here was somehow good. Now obviously, creepy jump scare and atmosphere aside, maybe once Minecraft old re-uploads continues, which they haven't uploaded in 2 weeks, we can get a good ending of sorts. Moving on to the third episode, we find ourselves in this mountain with yet again different tools, meaning way after the mining video. In this video, he finds a pumpkin in the air where whenever he wears it, it kind of freaks out his controls, mouse sensitivity goes a million times. When he takes it off, it turns to day. After exploring again, he finds this strange structure out in the middle of nowhere, 2 gunpowder in the furnace, and this strange cobblestone structure, where whenever he tries to break it, it teleports him back to the strange house. But luckily, he was able to mine around it, which led him to find these wool blocks covering a deep cave. Judging from his reaction, he didn't dig this, obviously. Exploring around, finding a furnace, free sand, and I guess a bunch of items in the shape of an eyeball, maybe. And this part, his IQ turns to -1,000,000 as he blocks his only light source. Why would you do this? I get that the dark is, scary, which is more reason to keep digging around it. What are you doing? No! Freaking out, he plugs the hole up and kills a pig. Goes back to the stone structure and now able to destroy the fucking teleporting stone block. No explanation on that at all. He still keeps looking around, waiting for something. And to Mike, these strange things that are happening to him doesn't seem to be freaking him out. More like, piquing his curiosity. And we all know curiosity killed the cat and whatever, quote. Whatever, just the video ends with him holding up in a strange house. To him, just a strange structure. For us, the viewers, paranormal activity or anomalies or whatever. And moving on to the next video titled Investigations, he decides to dig into the cave or halls, now seemingly filled up with concrete, and You can hear it, can't you? It's there. We confirmed it. Yet another something is in his Minecraft world, but unlike so many other digital horror, it doesn't show up using audio to represent itself, breaking blocks around you just to let you know it's there. You have a stack of torches that you're not using. What are you doing? Now, there is a jump scare that's genuinely well done because, well, it's in the video investigation. I'll leave the video in the description along with his channel, of course. But the jump scare in the video investigation is just... It's not the best of jump scares, but it's so subtle that I can't show it to you in this video. You just have to go watch the video for yourself. So again, I'll leave it in the comments and in the description. Just watch the video investigations and you'll see what jump scare I'm talking about. Moving forward, we get this... Oh, and ignore the knocking, please. It's like a weird blend of well-done audio, like, you know, the breaking blocks. You can hear it from the digging, from whatever is chasing him, but the knocking is just there. Like, it's a weird mix between really, really good, scary, and stupid kid making his first ARG. Another example would be here. After Mike escapes, we get this stupidly good transition from fog to clear. Like, holy shit. Now, I know that maybe for you Minecraft historian and nerds out there, that doing, you know, changing the fog is pretty easy thing to do, but holy shit, that was really good for me at the time when I first watched it. Like, what the fuck? I genuinely wasn't expecting this in fucking Minecraft old re-uploads 2010. Like, look at that fucking name. And if it is, sadly, really easy to do this transition with the fog in old Minecraft. Anyway, he holes up and... In the video Getting Food, there was something I didn't mention. You can't escape. It has already found you. And coincidentally, in the next video, Mike is running away or hiding. Something is clearly wrong here, and all we have to work with is this one PNG. We never see this PNG again, which is why this is kind of confusing, and it's also why I have a pretty good theory. Mike knows his computer is haunted, and so he starts to record for profit, adding his own anomalies here and there. This PNG being one of them, which explains the bad parts of the ARG, like the bad effects and badly placed sounds like the knocking. All we have to do is figure out the real anomalies in the video, such as the spectrogram and the digging around him and, you know, the strange structures. But otherwise, it kind of seems like Mike knows his game is haunted, but decided to record it all for, you know, fame or whatever, playing it off as if it were a 2010 re-uploads instead. Honestly, really weird. However, aside from that, let's move on. The video 0000 is probably the most anomalous. It starts off where we left off and finds this strange structure and another chest with a random assortment of items before this happens. Now, for this part of the video, I'm pretty sure the strange whispering was added by Mike himself, but the fog might not have been. Maybe Mike heard something coming toward him and ran into the cave. Yet again, Mike is pretty smart going in here since he digs into the strange cave and hauls again, you know, a place to hide, and this place. Obviously, we should take everything like this as, you know, added by Mike, but if it wasn't, that would be pretty creepy, since hearing non-Minecraft related stuff in-game is, well, creepy, but anyway, he builds up trying to hide from I'm pretty sure Mike would have gotten a fucking bed by now. I don't know why he hasn't made one yet. And whatever happened to his first base, well, in the next video, everything is kind of fucked. It's all like this. Java version 050505550, fucking whatever this is. Like, come on, man. Are you serious right now? But anyways, at least we know what happened to his first base. You know, it's still there, just not important at all. This is probably not Mike. You know, let's be for real. It's not Mike. He makes this weird assortment of items in his inventory before dying. So whatever this video, the video titled version 5 was, probably not Mike. In the video 0005, we find out that he has two worlds. World 1 is what version 0005 takes place in, otherwise the first playthrough. As for the second world, maybe it's the strange structures or a copy of the world with the video 0005 ending in Minecraft crashing. Maybe it's the strange structures world or a copy of the world 1. And anyway, the video 0005 ends in Minecraft crashing. Moving forward, the next video is Investigation 2. It is nothing too strange other than a few jump scares and effects, and something I will discuss later in the video, because in the description we get a 14-letter Caesar cipher, yet again showing the strange mix between good and bad. After decoding the message, if he really wanted me since the beginning, why is he not taking me immediately? And honestly, that's a pretty good question, because if I was an ARG entity, I would just lock the player in a bedrock box and do whatever I wanted or get whatever I wanted from the player. But I do have to consider that the player can't just leave and never play again, which means I can't get what I want from the player, whatever it may be. So I guess that kind of explains why most digital horror entities never just force the player into a bedrock prison, because the player can just leave, which is kind of cool when an ARG forces the main character's PCs to just never turn off. Similar to how in Interloper, Anamade was forced to keep his PC open all the time because of the entity in Project Skybox. Oh, and if you want an Interloper video, let's reach 100 likes in this video, and I'll make it. Now we've reached the end. Congrats on making it this far into the video, thanks. And anyway, the last video on Mike's channel is a message simply stating that a user posted a video on his channel that he did not make. Most likely the version video, and after that Minecraft old uploads never uploaded again, because the channel only ever got 20 subscribers, and sorry for taking so long on the video, man, like 2 months after getting the email. My bad. But let's go over everything. Mike's computer is haunted, and he knows that. Most of the real anomalies we can confirm would be the structures and halls, along with the spectrogram and the Caesar cipher. And anyway, Mike, knowing his computer is haunted, decides to capitalize off of this because, you know, ARG channels get thousands of subscribers and on occasion a fan base, eagerly waiting for a new video. And unfortunately for Mike, the entity haunting his computer is not that scary. It just fucks around chasing him and builds bases. Which actually, you know what? Maybe it's Mike's dead friend or something. I don't know. And Mike, knowing his friend was haunting his computer, convinced his dead friend to build some spooky shit and chase him around to scare him for good ARG footage. Unfortunately for Mike, the video itself wasn't that scary. So he added a bunch of sound effects and PNGs and whatnot, but nothing. Mike must be pretty pissed. Nothing. Only got 20 subscribers. Mike must be pretty pissed. Anyway, thanks for watching, bye!